Hey everyone, here is the smoking Ascension guy again. I'll wait for a few moments as some of you get in here. And hi everyone, and much love in this totally auspicious time. So, I feel I will begin by saying that anyone watching this that is part of the system, any government employee anywhere around the globe, again, what I need to say that it's it's futile to resist what's occurring. I also strongly suggest for you to support the people. What is occurring upon the planet is indeed there is a judgment day here, and everyone is judged by their actions to which they support. So, again, having said this, it's nonsensical to go out against the people. And you need to realize this. Now, there are some dark souls that are not going forward where we are going. However, there is much light within the governments as well. And many of these light ones have been in there gathering documentation, evidence, and what have you. And for the most part, the biggest quorum of those have been taken out of there. And, some of these are your whistleblowers and what have you. And also, we still have some in there to assist with the transition. However, again, by going against the peoples, look at what you're supporting. Look at your families, and look at all of this. So, any of you going against the people that have jobs in law enforcement and what have you have a choice. Lay down your arms. And, it's not only, it's so prevalent worldwide with the protests, what's going on with the people. And the people are only standing up for themselves and what's right, and to eradicate the enslavement upon the surface. And let me say, there is a powerful divine force that is upon the surface, and it's within so many of us, and it's growing every day. So it's inevitable what is transpiring and what's to come. And anything that is against divine sovereignty and divine justice, it's imploding very rapidly, and it's going to be squashed, which it is. So there is not a choice in the matter to try to sustain an old system and an old way of being. And very rapidly, humanity very quickly are going to have access to wealth equality. Everything is ready there. So your attempts at prolonging that are futile. So thank you for that. Okay, so currently there is a huge influx of light coming the last couple of days, and I'll get perhaps back into some of this later on. So there's a huge and yeah, Father put the sun in the perfect spot for this. Excellent. So a huge influx of light coming in over the last couple of days, and the regular ascension symptoms with that. Mostly the rest was very important. And again, having said this, this photonic light, and you can also look at it as fuel at energizing your energetic fields for this now and what was to occur. So we're in the period that many of you are energized up as co-creators right now and going forward to add the most energetic benefit to changing reality and supporting it in the good ways. So the recent influx of light, that caused many of, and there's 71 again, and also 17s, which is very beautiful. 71, by the way, is a message from God. And so everyone is powered up, with this at this time. So having said this, you should feel pretty invigorated and also energized. So very good things coming with this. And again, it was all for very important reasons. And again, nothing stops what's occurring here. This is divinely ordained. We're taking everything forward and nothing, and that is the way it is. Now, I have some things written down. One thing very quickly, I wish to just say again, I speak with so many of you, and you know what I've seen in the past sometimes, I'll speak with one, and then I will speak about it on live, or I will write a post, and they'll say like, Rick, you got this from you're speaking about my experience. What I wish to make clear, no, it's not an individual's experience. When I converse with you as well, many of you are gauges as to what's going on within the overall collective. There are common themes that occur, and the way that I gauge the collective consciousness, what's transpiring, so I can deliver information to the others, is through you as well. We all interact here as a huge team, so it's not always about one, it's about all. So I wish to again, clarify what goes on. My purpose here upon the planet is to monitor the collective consciousness, to let's say, tweak it up where it needs to be, to provide the answers with what's going on, and also to give guidance going forward. And many of you also know this with your conscious talks, between two, you began to see creations from your talks that you spoke about. We are all co-creators on at least some level, and this is how we create the change. And it's so beautiful, important for two of you to get together and speak about the high consciousness things, because it also brings it into reality. So it's not just about one. So when I put things out, yes, we do discuss it. Everyone needs to know that there are common themes, and these are tests and lessons sometimes that it doesn't pertain to one, it pertains to many. And the more information that we get out by being open, the better it is for the collective that we overcome any of these hindrances. So again, it's very important. And again, it's about being together. It's about being fully open and not concealing things. By concealing things, you restrict forward movement. So thank you for that. What else do I got down here? So yeah, again, a quick note, just jumping back to, the ridiculous negative forces that are desperately trying to hinder things. Again, any of you in places of government, as soon as you go up against divinely supported people, what will begin to occur? You're going to begin to attract to yourself negative things. You will attract the wrath of God upon yourself that you actually invite in by going against what is occurring upon the planet, the divine ones and all of the instruments like sovereignty and wealth, equality, human rights. Once you go against and keep trying to endorse and keep an old system, outdated, primitive system, savage system intact, you are actually going against God and a huge contingent of us that is upon the surface. And again, it's futile. So it's ridiculous to try to support and sustain an old reality, which is no longer, it cannot stay into the future. So please understand this. Any of you in governments that are watching this, look at your consciousness, look at the people, look at your families, what you're doing. Make these choices now. No longer support what is against the people. And it's going to continue the uprisings to where it needs to go. And the more you resist against it, the more it's going to be upon yourself. You will attract the karmic things. No one's going to hurt you. The thing is, you are hurting yourself. And it's divinely assured to be so. Let's look at the peaceful protesters, the Wet'suwet'en. Very peaceful is what they were doing. Look what the government of Canada did, violating and breaking their own laws and using violent force, the RCMP and the military. Now look what's happening. You see many more people rising. Also, what you're seeing being revealed is many corruptive things, many more corruptive things of the government, of the RCMP, even on individual basis, and even with the military. So it's futile to go against the people. You might as well throw down your arms and support them and be a person, be a soul. Do not be something that is going to enslave people or attempt to. But you can't do that. Those days are over. So you have your choices. However, some of you have already made your choices, and you'll continue to attract the negative to it. So it's just letting you know what's going on. And having said that, you have dealt with me before, and you know what occurred. As I said, you cannot kill me. You did not believe me first, but after several attempts, you found out that it was true. So listen to me now, what I am saying. Thank you. Now, getting back to, let's see, what do we got here? I feel that put a lot of fear into the establishment. I'm a very powerful empath, and I feel the fear that is generated from those that are watching it, that is, on the other side of the fence, not supporting the people. So thank you. Now you're listening up. And also, it's because they're souls that they are listening up. And if they were just minions of darkness, we would not feel them empathically. So this is very good, what I'm feeling. There's actual souls out there that are beginning to pay attention. So put down your arms, walk away from your jobs, stand beside the people. Getting back to the Wet'suwet'en and what's in Canada. Yes, everyone, support. It's not about, let's say, money and about a pipeline. Like, we don't even need these sort of things. Your governments have suppressed from you all of the technology where, in the free energy technology, where no fossil fuels are required whatsoever. Go back pre-1933, when what was delivered upon the surface, technology with magnetic propulsion systems, time travel, and much more. So you do not need these fossil fuels and primitive ways of transportation. You don't need jet fuel. So you don't need pipelines. You don't need the oil and gas. You don't need this to heat your homes. The technology has been here for almost 100 years, where it's a free technology to do it. And it's time for the planet to catch up to where it's supposed to be in the universe, and this is assured, and it is occurring. And having said this, the galactics are also here in the skies. And I know many of you have seen it and can attest and have bear witness. But just in case there's some of you watching that do not know what's there, I suggest start paying attention to the sky, and you'll begin to receive your own confirmations. So with the Wet'suwet'en people, yes, everyone stand up and support this. And I was so grateful to read, to see the other night, you know, the Wet'suwet'en in Canada standing up for the rights, their rights, but it's also all of your rights in Canada as well, because what is being shown, what the government is doing, is violating the Constitution, Universal Charter of Rights, and Declaration of Human Rights, and so many more. When you have a government doing this, the government is criminal. And if you allow this to go on, what you're actually doing is giving away your consent to a government to come and kill you if they choose, which is absolutely not acceptable. It's preposterous. So join the protesters is what I'm saying. Yeah, we're very quickly going to implement this great change. And again, it's futile for any resistance against that. So in Australia, it was so beautiful to see that some began to protest in solidarity and in support for the Wet'suwet'en people. And as I said, there's a lot more behind this, what meets the public eye. This is not a movement about just stopping a pipeline and about money. This gets down to your very being and your freedom and your rights. And again, when those were violated, as they were by the RCMP, which should not even had stood up against this. And I also saw this morning in Ontario, in Mohawk territory, the OPP, the Ontario Provincial Police, coming and removing ones. And, you know, also with this, I guess it's CN rail, maybe CP rail, you need to know what's going on here. These corporate conglomerates and oligarchs and huge businesses, no, this is not the future. And you're part of the destruction. What must occur so that we construct the free futures? And again, it's imminent and it's futile to put up any resistance. What I wish to say, you better get with it for your own choice. No, none of the divine ones are going to hurt you in any way. You actually hurt yourself by what you attract, and it's divinely taken care of. And I will say that God is very real, and the presence of God upon the surface is the most that it has ever been in the entire history here, even beyond the times of Jesus. You know, in the times of Jesus, there were maybe, let's say, a couple dozen. In this time, there are many. And this gets done. So let's just say the reins that the dark control have been taken away. And with this, you will and are witnessing the miracles to confirm and to attest that this is so. You don't need to take my word for it. Just become aware and begin to look around, and you will quickly see it. And let me say this, you know, Prime Creator is the head honcho, and he creates as well as uncreates. So just look at that and think about that for a moment when you're making these choices to go against people and what is human rights. So thank you for that. Now, so I put out a post earlier, you know, what was going on with Child Protective Services, you know, parts of the system. What I suggest with this, moms and dads began protesting, gathered together to break these bureaucracies and agencies of the dark governments down as well. If it's required to be done, you know, start organizing and get ready to get out there in the streets and spread the awareness. You know, the beautiful post, what I was asked to share from the lady publicly coming out, revealing the judge's name, reveal all of their names to the public, expose them. This is where your power is at. It's not with getting lawyers and going in and fighting a system that is designed to make you lose every time and to wear you down. You take the offense by rising above them. The people are your support. You have 99% of the people that are, you would say, against the 1%. So when you reveal the 1% to the other 99%, very quickly the 1%, any laws they have or what have you, is gone. It's not supported. So again, any of you, I strongly suggest that, you know, that have been targeted and the children taken away, get all connected, stand together. You know, you're seeing what the beautiful Wet'suwet'en people are showing you, the solidarity and the coming together with protests, you know, standing up everywhere, people joining together. This is how you affect change. You don't affect change by sitting on your couch watching things go. You know, get out there, be part of it, do it. The quicker we all stand together, the quicker we do it, the quicker the change. Now with the children, you know, I'm receiving something from Father. I may have to change what I was doing. Okay, told to get off that subject. Enough said right now. That was orders from headquarters, from the head guy and the head girl, mom and dad. Okay, very quickly, the stock markets, as you know, it's all ridiculous about money. However, the stock markets have begun to crash, and it was all orchestrated to do that. So I'll reiterate again, anyone with monies in your 401ks, RRSPs, investments, get it out. I've said this before just a few months ago. Just you know, why we're going through this phase and the transition into the place of wealth equality. I'm not given how long it's going to take, other than we are here for about a year or two to assure that everything upon the surface is in full alignment and